This is my final research project, and in it I'm going to take an analysis of the current state of the economy. This is a general AD/SRAS/LRAS graph showing the economy condition of an economy or our economy in a recession or going towards a recession. On the next few slides, I'm going to show some evidence that's found in the Fred database that supports evidence of the economy going towards a recession. So the first thing I'm going to show is the latest unemployment rate. So in March of 2020, it was at 4.4%. That's up about 1.1% since January. The unemployment rate in January of 2020 was 3.5, and the unemployment rate of February was 3.6. The next point of evidence I'm going to make that is also found in the Fred database is the latest unemployment compensation claims. So in April of 2020, there was about 4.4 million unemployment compensation claims, and this is very, very, very high. The unemployment rate in January of 2020 was only about 200,000, same with February. The unemployment rate of March of 2020 was also high at about 6.8 million. So there's a steep incline of unemployment compensation claims in April of 2020 and of March of 2020. In the first quarter of 2020, we saw a real GDP decline at about $19,000 billion, and this is just a little under of what we had in the fourth quarter of 2019. The current event that I chose is the coronavirus or COVID-19, and this shifted the AD graph to the right. COVID-19 has shifted AD to the right, and there is a lower demand and an emergence of involuntary unemployment. The COVID-19 has a negative impact on expectations for the future of productivity growth, as well as a demand-driven recession. Banks are reacting by lowering the policy rate, and interventions are inducing people in the government to increase borrowing and spending, and rightward shift of the AD curve to the AD prime. If the stimulus is strong enough, full employment can go back, but I personally do not see that happening anytime soon. In conclusion, the AD shift is because of changes in consumer spending, in investment spending, such as interest rates, government spending, and changes in foreign incomes, in other words, net export spending. This next slide is going to show how the SRA shifted to the left, and this shift to the left was because of subsidies and taxes, resources, and productivity. There was a demand shock, there was a decrease in exports, a downturn for consumer confidence, and malfunctions in financial markets, as well as inflation slowing down. There also is a supply shock. Prices are rising. There's limits on outputs because of the limits of those who can work and things that are open, and less inputs into the country because of different sort of bans. Two fiscal policy tools that I used, or that I think you should use to create a more healthy economy, include spending and taxes. So spending, so it will drive the government money to certain sectors needing an economic boost and take it away from places or parts of the sectors that don't really need it. For example, giving out the $1,200 to people, and those people who receive it can spend more money and put it back in the economy. And the people who own restaurants and need help can get money and allow them to make food for people and then put money back in the government as well. Taxes, this will influence the economy by determining how much money the government has to spend in certain areas and how much money individuals spend on things. Decreasing taxes can influence people to spend more money, and cuts in taxes can provide families with extra money, which they can put back into the. Last but not least, if $100 billion was given back into the economy as an increase to the real GDP, and MPC in the economy is at 0.75, caused by spending and taxation, the tools I used in the last slide, will turn the economy around. These two tools are the best tools for our government to use because of the current state of the world as a whole. The negative impacts of the coronavirus could not really be avoided because of it's a national illness opposed to different sorts of economic pressures. Spending and taxation are already being used as a potential correction for the economy and should be continued. This is the AS/AD/RSA/SRSA graph that shows the economy going from a recessionary period to an inflationary gap.